Welcome to Run SDJ, I'm Steve and today marks my second anniversary here on YouTube. On the 8th of March 2023, I made my first YouTube video. I made that video more so just to test out some of the equipment that I'd had lying around for a few years. I ended up making it into a video, posted it on YouTube, and that's where this journey all began. So I thought I would just take a little bit of time today to reflect back. So just some stats across the 2 years that I've been here. I have made 101. This is my 102nd long form YouTube video, and I've made 105 shorts. In that time, I have amassed 186,000 views and had 10,300 watch hours across all of my content. I currently have just over 1,500 subscribers. It took me 639 days to get to 1,000 subscribers, and it took me a further 90 days to get to 1,500. I think the first thing I'd say is creating videos here on YouTube. It really helps if you follow one of your passions. I've been a runner since 2013, so it's something that I've been doing for the long term, so I knew it wasn't just a flash in the pan. I'd say one of the things that being a video creator here on YouTube has done for me is it has made me put myself forward for opportunities that I perhaps wouldn't have if I didn't have an outlet for making interesting videos about it. So I'd been running for 11 or 12 years before I started this YouTube journey, and I'd never ran a marathon in that time. And in the 2 years since starting my YouTube video journey, I've run 3 marathons with a further 2 this year. So it has made me put myself into things that I don't think I would have if it wasn't having this outlet to make videos. It's also helped me be a bit more committed to being a runner. So prior to doing these videos, I'd never really followed strict training plans. I just kind of followed my own path in running. And since I have been following a little bit more structure in my plans, it has massively improved me as a runner. Over the last couple of years, I've got new PBs in the 5K, the 10K, the half marathon, and I've also started my marathon journey. So I have been, despite my personal advancing years, I've also still managed to improve myself as a runner. I think another learning for me since being on YouTube has been to get comfortable being uncomfortable. What I mean by that is when I initially started making YouTube videos, for example, I made quite a lot of videos about parkrun tourism. If you go back and watch a lot of those earlier videos, you'll see that I would record the introduction to those often sat in my car. The main reason for that was because I didn't want to be seen kind of holding a camera, recording myself talking to a camera. I was a bit, I guess, embarrassed early to do that, but I still wanted to make videos. Eventually, I got more comfortable and confident with myself, and then I evolved, you could say, to starting to kind of record my piece to cameras, my introductions to videos out and about, just walking about. If it was on a park run, I'd walk a part of the course, and I think that made my content a lot better. But that was a real step up for me in terms of, what if someone sees me? I realized no one actually really cares. I think I still have this fear of maybe looking a bit silly, but I don't think there's been one point in the last 2 years that anyone has kind of seen me recording and has kind of called me out on it and being like, you look stupid or anything like that. So I think getting a bit more comfortable and confident with your own skills in front of a camera has definitely been a big learning for me across that couple of years. Another learning for me has been to listen to some advice, not necessarily all the advice that you're given. I guess it depends who is giving you that advice. A good example for that for me was in the first 3 months of me making YouTube videos, I made a video about a high rocks experience in London where I put a GoPro on my chest and I kind of recorded my high rocks experience. The video that I made was quite long because I thought it was important to introduce my audience to what high rocks was. It was my first kind of studio shot, piece to camera. It was long, labored, and the YouTuber that some of you might know, Mark Lewis, actually commented when I put on Facebook that in a High Rocks group, I'd been like, I made a video about my High Rocks experience in London, thinking that everyone would be like, this is amazing. He gave it a little bit of a tear down, but in the most constructive way. So he said, your video's too long. Cut the bit at the start about what High Rocks is. If you want to make a video like that, make it a separate video about it. Keep this just about your experience at the race. And he says he finds it quite boring when people just put a montage of footage together without any kind of commentary or voiceover on it. So I took that video down as soon as he'd made his comments on that. And it actually, from that moment on, transformed my thinking about the way I make videos. You know, Mark has gone on to, I think, he's a full-time YouTuber. He's very successful. His videos are very well done. And it would have been silly for me to not have taken that advice on. So as I say, I took that video down, I re-edited it and followed his advice. I stripped out this opening section that I'd done, which took ages for me to film, but I had a kind of montage of my experience doing High Rocks in the race itself, and I just put some kind of background music. And then I just sat there for a couple of hours and I overdubbed a commentary of that race experience. So I made that video maybe about half the length that its first cut was. And I, as I say, put a audio commentary over the video to make it more about what my experience was in the race. It was the first time I'd done a commentary, but then on a lot of my parkrun video time lapses, my early ones were just background music, no commentary. From that moment on, I was a lot more comfortable writing kind of scripts about my experience during a race, and then I would record that over the footage and hopefully make a more compelling video for people to watch. So yeah, another lesson is listen to advice if it's coming from a place of experience, and also I think it was well-meaning. I think Mark saw that, you know, there was something in this video that could be quite good, and he thought that he was doing me a favour, and he absolutely was. So I doubt he's watching this, but if he is, thanks for that. From that moment on, it totally reframed the way I thought about making videos. Kind of connected to that, I think my next learning has been to take risks. YouTube is a lot about trial and error. YouTube is also very unpredictable. What you think might be a smash hit might end up being your worst performing video, and the vice versa is true. What you think might bomb might end up being your most successful video. It's kind of hard to predict. You get to know the patterns as you make more videos, but still, I'm frequently surprised about the videos that do really well, and then a bit shocked at the videos that don't do so well. An example of this is when I was doing the Paris Marathon and I'd finished my training and I was about to do the race. I thought I'll make a really cool short because I had so much footage that I'd recorded for my training. I made a minute-long short to the beat of Robot Rock by Daft Punk, and I made this video that I thought looked amazing because everything changed on the beat of the music, and uploaded it, waited for it to go viral, and it got 67 views to date. So that is basically a year later. That crashed and burned. I felt pretty disappointed in that because I'd put a lot of editing time into it, and I thought it was something that might get people to tune into my longer form content over the marathon journey, but it just did not do well. So that was a learning for me. I think another thing is sometimes you have to give videos that you make time to get into the algorithm in YouTube. So a really recent video that I made, it was a new type of video for me. It wasn't necessarily directly to do with my running. It was a review of a camera that I used for my running, which was the Insta360 Go 3S. I thought I'm going to make a review because I like watching a lot of tech reviews, and I thought I had quite a lot of experience with this camera and I had things to say. So I made this video, and I'd say for the first 2 weeks of it being up, it absolutely flatlined. It didn't go anywhere, and I put a lot of time, similar to the Paris video I talked about before, I put a lot of time into making that video, and I was disappointed because I thought it would catch, and it didn't. After 2 weeks, it started, I think, finding its audience, and now it's getting me a decent number of views every day. And that video continues to exponentially grow. So any video for me that does kind of more than 1,000 views, I would regard as being a success. And that video is kind of has well surpassed that now. that is another learning, that don't worry if your video doesn't catch within 24 hours or even a week. It will hopefully find an audience and will take off from then. I think some content will also surprise you. Back in 2023 in November, I made a video. At the time I was chasing, as I am now, a new 5K PB. And I made this video called Sub 20 Training, something about how I used the Garmin race widget to train me for a new 5K PB. That video is still, if I look at my daily analytics, that video is often in my top 3 or pretty much permanently in my top 5 videos that have had views in the last 48 hours, even kind of 15, 16 months after it was published. So that has been, I think, a big surprise. It's one of those things that I'm struggling to kind of understand. It's like, why does that video do well and continue to do well, whereas this video lasts a week and then is never seen again? It's hard sometimes to work out how YouTube works. So you can kind of try and make more content like the Sub 20 Training 2023 video and less content like the 60-second Paris Marathon training montage. I think another thing, despite what I'm saying, is I want videos to be successful, but I don't make videos to necessarily chase views. I think I want to make content that is interesting to me. It is either of a interesting experience or the making of the video itself is challenging for me. I make videos, quite often I'll make videos just about a training diary or a race vlog. They typically don't do very well. Rarely do any of those videos hit that 1,000 mark. Sometimes they're normally around 500 to 700 or less. But I enjoy making those videos because I go back to the reason why I started this journey on YouTube, for want of a better word, and that was to kind of diarize my running journey. So I don't want to take out, even though those videos don't do as well as a trainer review video or a different product review video, they're the core of why I'm here. If I look back to my earlier ones, my Gothenburg training videos, they're still in double-digit figures for what they viewed. But now if I look to my Chicago Marathon ones, they're into the hundreds. So there's exponential growth there in the same style of video. As I say, they just get dwarfed sometimes by the other videos, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to stop making them. I think another learning for me on YouTube has to experiment with the setup that you use to make videos. When I started out, I used quite a complicated setup. I used a Canon mirrorless camera to shoot my footage in studio. I would use a couple of GoPros out on my runs, one for kind of strapped to my chest for time-lapse footage, another one that I could kind of hold to record first-person things. So my setup was always quite cumbersome. Now it's simplified a lot. I don't use the Canon at all. I use my iPhone for filming all the kind of pieces to camera outside of races that you'll see. So right now, in what you're seeing here is me recording this on my iPhone. When I do my race videos, kind of the things that I do pre and post is also done on my iPhone. And the things that I do during the race, now I use the Insta360 Go 3S. And I've done away with using my GoPros and that thumb size camera. You can go back and watch my review on that for what I think about it. Literally, I can slip that in the back pocket when I'm going out on runs. I don't even think about it and I can just kind of pull it out, record a bit of stuff. So yeah, for me, I've massively simplified the way I shoot videos, and also my flow in how I edit videos has got a lot more straightforward than it used to be. A lot of my early videos, you'll see that I made really nice titles and things for every video, especially for my Paris Marathon run vlogs. You know, they'd be different every time, and that took a hell of a lot of time. And I was like, does this actually make my videos any better? And I've kind of subsequently, kind of after the Paris Marathon, I kind of did away with all of the kind of bespoke titles. Yeah, I don't do that anymore, and I don't think my videos have suffered at all from it. I have a nice kind of end screen that kind of points people towards my other videos, which I might make and theme for a certain thing, such as my Chicago Marathon things, but I can reuse that every video. So yeah, a lot of it's just about kind of how to be efficient for me now with making content, so it doesn't take days on end for me to kind of get things edited and out. Another thing I've learned, and this is kind of has been really important for me, is to remember that it's okay to not make videos for a while. Sometimes things can feel a lot, and I've put a lot of pressure on myself in my journey on YouTube to make videos. I have to make a video about this. I have to go out today and make a video about this. Now it's not uncommon for me to take a couple of weeks out completely from making videos, editing videos. Sometimes I just take my thumb cam out and I'll film some stuff so I've got B-roll to draw on when I come back to make a video. But in terms of editing, I can kind of sit away from editing videos for a couple of weeks now and recharge my batteries and then come back to it when I'm ready. I think I know now that YouTube will be there when I come back. I don't know if it punishes me for being away for a couple of weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, but as I say, the most important thing for me is to kind of keep my mind healthy and not kind of get stressed about making videos when it's actually deep down inside sometimes the last thing that you want to be doing. And I think finally, not being motivated by money on YouTube, because there isn't a lot. Certainly when you're starting, you have to get to 1,000 subscribers before you make any money on YouTube. And then it isn't just this magic thing where you start to make a lot of money from your videos. I'm not going to tell you how much I've made, but it's not lots to date. Actually, I'm going to tell you it's under £200 that I've made direct from YouTube since I started my journey. So you have to be willing to put a lot of the hard work in and get absolutely nothing in terms of financial benefit back. You might get people who reach out to you and send you products for review. I had some headphones sent to me, which was really nice. And more recently, I had a sleep mask sent to me. But yeah, I haven't been getting inundated with things like that. You know, I've had to buy trainers to review. I've had to buy kit so I can review it. It's all stuff that I know I'm going to use. I've spent lots more on YouTube and making videos than I have got from YouTube. So I think going back to my first point, it has to follow a passion. It has to be a hobby within itself. And if you end up making some money from it, be that a little or a lot, that has to be the bonus, I think, rather than the reason why you're doing it in the first place. Yeah, that's it. So 2 years in, I think the plans, I said, what is next? Make more videos. So we're going to be doing 2 marathons this year, and I'm going to be experimenting for the Amsterdam Marathon, all being well, with starting doing a video podcast. I've got a group of friends. We're all doing the marathon in Amsterdam. So in the kind of 4-month lead up to the marathon itself, I think we're going to be doing a monthly get together where we'll try and make a kind of video podcast where we're talking about our different experiences. Some are a bit more experienced than others. So hopefully that'll be interesting. It's going to be a challenge. It'll challenge me as a creator, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. If it bombs, then maybe we don't do it again, but we won't know if we don't try. So if you've got this far with this video, thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next one. See ya.